Here in Canada, they started fires inside some of our beautiful forests, causing life-threatening fires with severe smoke and air quality indexes at numbers we've never seen before. And yesterday, as I was looking out the window at this insanity, I saw a guy outside while the air quality index was at 500 smoking a cigarette, 'cause he likes the 2-for-1 special. New York and New Jersey were starting to look a lot like the Tupperware container after you put some nice and saucy pasta in it and then try washing it 15 times. They say that in comedy, it's important to remember to talk about stuff that people can relate to. The more they can relate to it, the funnier it can be, whether it's dark or light. It's a huge challenge nowadays if you're seeking some mental health guidance and assistance because of the inundation of people that are requiring it. So, if you do end up looking for help, you'll be put on a waiting list that could be as short as a few months to as long as a couple of years, depending where you live, before you get the help you may desperately need, which in turn will allow the avenue to open up for the diabolical MAID program in Canada to become more pervasive and prevalent in the mental health field. Last month, after a long 2-year wait, I finally heard from a psychological professional, and we set it up to meet now via Zoom once a week. And one of the first questions that she asked me is, "So Tony, what do you find to be your biggest challenge after you wake up in the morning?" And I said, "Finding the will to live."
Every day I'm shuffling.
They say that exercising and keeping active regularly really helps with the dopamine and overall mental health. So I decided to take up the suggestion, and I found myself a nice gym to join. And on my first day, I went up to one of the personal trainers there and I asked him, "Hey, I see that there are some very lovely ladies around here that I definitely like to draw the attention of. Which machines do you recommend I use?" And so he looks me up and down and he says, "For you, try the ATM across the street." Poodle. My life's an absolute mess. My owner is mean, my girlfriend is leaving me for a German Shepherd, and I've become as nervous as a cat. Schnauzer. Why don't you just go and see a psychiatrist? Poodle. I've thought about that, but I can't. I'm not allowed on the couch. Have a gay old time. My wife asked me to write her a poem like I used to back in the day, so I wrote, "Roses are red and watchers are gold. Get on your knees and do as you're told." Oh! Did you hear that Bill Gates has agreed to pay for Trump's big border wall, but only on the condition that he gets to install windows? A man is skydiving along and enjoying his free fall ride when he realizes that he's reached the altitude where he must open his parachute. So he pulls on the ripcord, but nothing happens. No problem, he says to himself. I still have the emergency chute. So he pulls the ripcord on the emergency chute, but once again, nothing happens. Now the man begins to panic. What am I going to do? I'm a goner, he thinks. Just then, he sees a man flying up from the earth toward him. He can't figure out where this guy is coming from or what he's doing, but he thinks to himself, maybe he can help me. When the man gets close enough to him, the skydiver cups his hands around his mouth and yells loudly, "Hey, do you know anything about parachutes?" The other man replies, "No. Do you know anything about gas furnaces?" Roses are red, and I hate snitches. You talk a big game for a guy with 3 inches.
What you talking about, Willis?
A couple having been married for over 15 years and still living in an apartment, the wife would often complain about anything, as she was tired of saving every penny to buy a dream home. Trying to placate her in the meantime, the husband found a nice new apartment within their budget. However, after the first week, she began complaining again. "Jonathan," she said, "I don't like this place at all. There are no curtains in the bathroom and the neighbors can see me every time I take a bath." "Don't worry, darling," replied the husband. "If the neighbors ever do end up seeing you, they'll be the ones to buy the curtains." Riddler. Riddle me this, Batman. What's long, round, and has cum in the middle? Batman. I don't know. A dick? Riddler. No, Batman. It's a cucumber. Joker. Knock, knock. Batman. Who's there? Joker. Not your parents. Mom finishes giving her son the talk, and her son then replies, "Wait, Mom, so you're saying that there really isn't any candy involved? I guess Grandpa lied then."
What you talking about, Willis?
It's time for OnlyFans.
I was so ecstatic to receive an OnlyFans discount that was 69% off. But my friend keeps making fun of me for it. I told him, "You're just jealous because you're not eligible for the family discount." Hey, have you heard the good news? It seems that OnlyFans is getting rid of its adult content. Local bars and restaurants can hire servers again. I saw an ad for a dominatrix author OnlyFans creator who seeks a fellow writer to be her sub. So basically, she needs a subscriber. They say that the average Canadian man has sex 2 to 3 times a week, whereas the average man from Japan has sex maybe once or twice a year, which is pretty alarming because I didn't know I was Japanese. Tell me lies. They say that English surnames all had a meaning, as in the Smiths were blacksmiths and the Taylors were tailors and so on. What I want to know is, what did the Dickinsons do? I asked my friend the other day what was the best part of having big boobs, and she tells me that it helps her avoid unwanted eye contact. 'Cause they say that the sight of a woman's hearty cleavage reduces a man's ability to think clearly by 50% per boob. Cologne. Fernando asked me, "Hey bro, Do you think you could loan me $100? Harassment. The other day, my wife caught me in bed with another woman. I told her, honey, harassment nothing to me. Wafer. I wanted to go to the movies with my friends, pero mis amigos didn't wait for me. Wife. Would you like some bacon and eggs, perhaps a slice of toast, and maybe some grapefruit and coffee, my darling? The husband declines. Thanks for asking, babe, but I'm just not hungry right now. I think it's the Viagra. It really has taken the edge off of my appetite. At lunchtime, she asks if he'd like something again. Like a bowl of soup, homemade muffins, or maybe a sandwich? He declines. The Viagra, he says, it really trashes my desire for hunger or food. Now dinner time rolls around, and she again asks her husband if he wants anything to eat. Would you like a nice juicy porterhouse steak with mashed potatoes, asparagus, and some scrumptious apple pie? Or maybe a delicious barbecue chicken or a tasty stir fry? Husband declines again. Nah, I'm still not hungry. Sorry, babe. Well, replies the wife, would you mind letting me up then? 'Cause I'm starving.